Block. It's your boy 305 King.
And it's your boy DJ Reloaded.
Got Trey on the block.
What's up? What's up, Superman? I'm in the building.
All right. What we're gonna talk about today is the role a father plays in their kids' lives. So, DJ Reloaded, explain a little bit about what we kind of talk about with people today.
Um, how I view as far as the role that a father plays in his children's life. I mean, I have to think about my own self, right? I mean, I'm a father. I have two beautiful daughters who I love. What I try to do with my kids is, as far as because they're both different, right? Different personalities, different people. I try to help develop them so that this journey of life that they're going through, that they have the correct tools and influence from my household to be prepared for the world, to war with this world. So I try to give them the knowledge. I try to give them the truth. I try to teach them self love, and I also try to teach them discipline to the best of my ability.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
we got to touch on a little bit of something that might be a little touchy to other people, but that's why we come to the block. And I want to get into a little discussion like, okay, now I don't have nothing against a photo that's circulating around the internet of a certain basketball player and their son, right? Totally get it, right? But a 12-year-old making those type of decisions and been making those type of decisions, like when is the line drawn in the sand? When does the father play a role in that aspect that your 10-year-old or 11-year-old or 12-year-old or 8-year-old or 13-year-old is making those type of decisions? Let me hear from you,
I
Sue.
feel like the generation we live
Oh,
in.
Trey, let me hear from you. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like the generation we live in, whatever, they coming up and they letting the kids grow into how they want to grow. Like they not caring how they come out no more. They don't care what they grow up to be no more. They just letting them do their own thing, go with the flow. You feel me? Like as far as a parent, they let you grow up. Like how we were teenagers and stuff. Your mom let you go to a party or whatever. You get to hang out with your friends and stuff. Come back home at that time. They probably don't even care about no curfew no more. As long as you come home safe, all type of stuff now nowadays. They just growing up to be who they want to be now. Like be your own person.
Right.
Do you think a kid should be able to have some free will? Like I mean, like I allow my daughters to like explain themselves to me. You know what I mean? If they're doing something that I may disagree with, but I at least want an explanation, the reason why that you choose to do something
Yeah,
that.
I mean, as far as that, they gonna still do what they want to do though. Like they growing up, so they watching stuff on the internet and all that. See what's cool, and they trying to match that same popularity with them. But they not actually doing it to make the parent mad. They doing it because that's what they like right now. They see that's fashion right there. What that boy probably think he got on. He think that's fashion. He think that's swag probably. You feel me? But we look at it like, nah, bro, we don't wear that. You feel me? We don't do that. We go, we man, you don't wear it. We don't wear stuff like that. Young Thug, they wear tight clothes. Young Thug got a dress on. Come on now, you got a dress on his album one time. Kids looking at that junk, bro. Like kids, that man probably like 9 years old when the Young Thug album came out, and he
Yeah,
seen the grown man with a dress on.
but isn't it the father job? I mean, like again, me as a father, I look to protect my kids mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? So
Mhm.
I'm always gonna be, like my father used to tell me when I was a kid. When I look at TV, he's always say, "Hey, boy, that's entertainment. That ain't real." Like at some point, as a father figure, it is what I mean, it's your job to tell your kids these things as far as what's real, what's not, what's entertainment, what's fake, right? So I just feel like again, you got to protect your kids mentally and program your child yourself the same way television does, music does, and etc. Right?
Yeah,
So
but
one,
they looking at that. They taking that and they doing whatever they want to do. They running with it. You can
well,
tell them what to do.
I'm asking, where's the line drawn at?
When they start doing the stuff they seeing, like once they start doing it, what they see on TV and these music videos, once they start doing it, like, nah, man, you don't live that life. You feel me? That's their life. They rap about their life. That's not you. You trying to put yourself in their life and live like them, but that's not you, whatever. You know, that's not who you came, who you up to be, whatever. You going off somebody else's image and you trying to build your own image off them, but you looking like them, trying to clone yourself.
But I'm talking about like just this openness to kids being free to make the type of decisions that they allowing these kids to make these days.
I mean, but no one control kids nowadays, right?
That's what I'm
If you
saying. This
step
whole
in
generation,
and call yourself making those type of decisions and being that controlling, you're going to be viewed as, especially by your children, as a tyrant. You know, you say you're telling me that you're going to go to your son and you're going to go to your daughter. You're going to tell them how to feel. You're going to tell them how to look at life.
that's
I'm
what I
pretty
get.
sure that's going to cause some
They're
type
gonna
of
go out to do
resentment.
what they want
So
to
let
do.
me
I'm
ask
not
you a
saying
question.
what any of what you're saying is wrong about being in your children's life, about controlling certain content, but being that over the top with it is not going to have a positive outcome.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. Or I want to ask you this. When you was growing up, would your uncles allow you to make that same decision?
No, I'm going to be honest with you. They would have checked it when I decided to, as a 9 to 10-year-old, to go to the Pride Parade.
Wait. Now, I asked you, would they have allowed you to make that decision? Because they was the ones that was bringing you up, right?
Correct. Or my grandfather.
Right. So would they have let you make that decision? You said no, right? So that's the same thing I'm saying right now is where the father come in to stand up and say, man, this ain't how we going. This ain't the direction it's going in.
But just like Super said, he had
You're forgetting one important factor about then and now, though. Y'all are forgetting one very important factor about then and now, and why it'll be pushed even harder by the kids by today is because, quite frankly, it's popular to be gay right now.
Why?
Because that's what's pushed socially. That's what's pushed. The LBG community at this point, they're probably the most. They're more powerful than Peter.
Like Lady True Bug said,
So
black men are
whatever
being
agenda that
feminized
they
by
feel
design.
like pushing, that's pretty much what happens in society. They got the female symbol taken off of female products. If you can explain that to me.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So where does the father step in and say, this is not how?
Where does he step? Where does he step in? Are you going to go to school? Are you going to be on the bus? Are you going to control every aspect of their social media, especially once they hit middle school?
Okay, let me show you this. Right? Mm-hmm. I have kids, right? I have a 13-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's exposed to everything. But one thing that I do, that I make sure I do, I sit down with my daughter and I unplug her. And what I mean by that is the way society is set up by design, like the comment says, right? I unplug that design and I feed her the truth. So where do we step in as men to feed our kids the truth? Explain that part to me. How is that?
But after you do that,
or
she goes outside,
trying to control them when I'm feeding her the truth. So guess what? When I expose her to the truth, she look at the world differently now. So now when she see that stuff going on, she know where it comes from.
But that's why I said earlier, right? It's a father's job to protect his kids physically, mentally, and emotionally, right? So like you said, Kane, you're gonna step in and you're gonna unplug, right? Now you can't protect your child every time they go outside, but
Mm-mm.
that's the reason why you have a healthy, open um dialogue with your kids every day,
Mhm.
right? What are you learning? What are you being exposed to, right? Now, and that's why you got to groom your kids. You again, you somewhat have to program your own kids to be able to come to you as a child and be open with you and have these type of conversations and not lash out at them, right? You have to be understanding. You don't want to push your kids away. You want your kids to
Mhm.
come to you and feel comfortable telling you everything that's going on in their life.
Right. My daughter, like I said, she's 13. My daughter feels comfortable coming to me and talking about boys.
And she should.
Yeah, cause
Be a
she
little
grew up
nervous
around.
and she might, play little giggly
Can
games, but she would tell me stuff. You feel me? And
can I ask you, gentlemen, a person? I'm gonna ask you a question, the gentleman, a personal question.
Okay.
Um, so you're gonna sit? Are you telling me that you never partaked in anything in your adolescence, in your early 20s, or anything like that, that pop culture or that was popular in society that wasn't taught in your home? And I know all of you personally, so
Let
Well,
me
I grew up
let's
with
let's be
y'all
for
around
real.
my teens,
look,
so I was with y'all pretty much. Like y'all see
You're
me
gonna do
during all
things
my teens. I
that's
was with y'all
popular
pretty much.
in the world.
I did everything. Hold, let me answer this question
Mhm.
because I know you personally as well. I always did everything I seen from a child to now as a man, right? That I have seen my uncles do and my aunts do. So nothing out of the ordinary that I have seen them do that I didn't do. Right? They played
I'm
spades.
just asking.
They played tongue. I played tongue.
mhm,
They drank. I drank a little bit, right? Now I didn't care for smoking. I grew out of the drinking. I went my own way, my own path because I'm my own thinker. Just because you're around people, this is what I'm saying. You have to be able to program your kids and teach your kids to be thinkers. Because if you allow your kids to get caught up into a system that thinks for them, they're gonna be tripped every time they turn, they're gonna stumble because they're being programmed by a lie. You know what I mean? Like say again, we had a comment about kids being black men being targeted to be feminine, right? They're attacking masculine.
Because in everyday society, they're telling you it's cool to be homosexual. And everywhere you look, they're telling you it's cool to be homosexual, whether it's cartoons, whether it's in sitcoms, whether it's in the literature that they're teaching children in school today, whether it's like I said, the just the news in itself showing the power of the LGBT community. There is showing you that it's cool to be a
So I got
homosexual.
a question.
It's
What if they
like,
like
yeah,
grow up like
that's yeah, let's do it. If you feel that way in the slightest, yeah, that's what it is, and that's what's being pushed in the media. That's what's being pushed in social media as well. So it's kind of hard to say that you're telling your child over and over and over and over again. Yes, you're gonna hope that that influence sticks with them. You're gonna hope that that sits in their subconscious, but it's hard to say that that alone
hold
is
on.
gonna deter all the outside influence.
Hold on. I don't feel I have to tell my
That
child that subject over and over and over. I don't even barely have to talk to her about that. Reason
so
being,
when she grow up and whatever you taught her when she grow up, she still go back and do all the stuff that you said that you
that's
think
the
she wanna do.
difference. That's the difference in what I'm saying. When
Yeah.
she's old enough to make those decisions, you make those decisions. But until then, I'm not going to guide you the wrong direction. I'm gonna guide you in the right direction. Now, if you go off a path when you get home by yourself, I can't control that, and I can't control nothing you do. But that's what I was finna get back to.
But now you have a 13-year-old, 14-year-old child that's afraid to express their feelings, even if the thought passed through their
That's
head.
not true, because I just explained to you that my daughter would come to me and talk to me about plenty of things that she won't even talk to her mama about. But see, that's the difference in having that, like DJ Reloaded said, having that dialogue with my daughter often about different things. When you can show her different things and what's a good direction and a bad direction, okay, when you can show her the good and the bad, I don't have to continue to tell her this because she know what's the difference now.
Right.
But when you make it like everything is okay and it ain't nothing good or bad and everything is a gray line with everything, it's not a gray line.
So let me ask you a question then.
That's
in my house. Let me ask you a question then, Soup. So are you telling us, because you're being, are you telling us though basically only control you have of your child as far as once he leaves your house and goes to school, and once school takes hold of him and that influence and that culture and the BS is pulled into your child, you telling me that you don't try to take your child and show him the correct way?
Right, no fight. You just let them just go with whatever
Your influence only, like you have to be honest. How many times does that little bubble pop up unless you outright know you're doing something wrong? That little in your head with your parents, saying, "Oh, don't do this and don't do that." It doesn't pop. It doesn't happen outright. I'm gonna be real with you. The first time that I was attracted to a little girl, my mama there is, "You're too young to like girls." Nah, that didn't happen. When I went back there and talked to her about these things, she let me know how she felt about it. When I expressed those feelings to her, she let me know how she felt about it. But when you're in the moment, things happen, and you, like I said, you have to hope. The daily teachings that you give your children stick in their subconscious. And that's the best we can do. Like you're not in control of whether they're homosexual or not.
That's not true. Let me explain something. Let me say this. Then I'm gonna let DJ Reloaded speak on it, and then we're gonna let Trey speak on it because Trey had a question. But so I'm gonna say this, right? I don't feel that's true, okay? And this is me, and this is my opinion in my household, okay? And everybody has their own. So whatever I feel is how I feel, right? Just the same way other people feel how they feel. But me, as a human being, you are not designed, period, to be attracted to the same sex. You're not designed by human design. You're not designed. No other freaking species is designed to be attracted unless they are born with both sex organs to each other, right? Okay. So when the baby comes out the womb and the baby is growing up, they don't know nothing about man and man, woman and woman. They only know what they see. And just like we saying how much, think about back in the days, none of that stuff was publicized as widely as it is. You could turn on TV and watch 4 or 5 commercials with gay stuff in it.
Yeah, they trying to make people feel okay about that.
It's put in a face way more. It's cartoons that are that have same-sex marriages with another young boy in the house in a cartoon. So
that's what I'm saying.
That direction.
But
it's pushed. It's pushed right in our face.
You can be taught
and it does take daily teachings.
I like what
you could be taught not to be that way.
I like this comment right here, right? A father is an overseer of his household, right? So if you're an overseer of your household, you're looking at the programs, you're reading the programs your kids are engaged into, right? You are protecting your kids mentally, right? Because again, when people grow up, they can be whatever they want to be. They can be a reindeer for all I care, right? They can
you know what I'm saying?
But in my household, it's my job to stand in that gap to teach them. You said a comment that, you know, as far as the influences of your parents, I can tell you right now, a lot of my mom and dad teachers have stuck with me. You know, my mom used to tell me growing up, when a person show you who they are, believe them. Right? That sticks with me every day. So that's why if I gotta cut a person out of my life, I do it quick, you know, fast and hurry, because at the end of the day, these are the teachings that I have been taught by my mom. My dad was a hardworking man, got up every morning by 4 o'clock in the morning, cooked himself breakfast, put the boots on, hit the door, came back home when the sun was down from doing his job and his secondary hustle. So all those teachings from my parents and my dad, even though my father probably didn't spend a lot of time with me, he showed me what it is to be a man and make the sacrifices as a man, right? What I do differently is I do make the same sacrifices as a man that he has done for me, but I give my kids more time. I spend time with my kids. I play with my kids. I talk to my kids. I ask them questions. I allow my daughters to feel comfortable enough to come to me with any problem, and they know that their dad will blow a whole block up for them, right? Because I want them to understand how much I love them and how much I care for them. Hell, even if I'm sitting next to them and I'm thinking about how they're growing at a rapid rate, I mean at a fast rate, I cry in front of my daughters and show them it's okay to see dad being emotional. So I show them all sides of dad and spend time with their mom so they can idolize that relationship and know that that's the right direction to go. And when they get older, hopefully they can find a man that treats their mom good, that works hard, and that takes care of them the way that their dad did.
And I totally agree in those concepts and those teachings that you're saying. But what I'm saying is being controlling, micromanaging. I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Who said I was being controlling?
Okay, well, hold on.
So
But
now,
if you're telling me that you're saying
you
I'm
doing
gonna be in control of I'm gonna be in control of everything that they watch on TV,
I monitor.
everything that they see on their phone, everything that they listen to everything that they listen to on radio, to make sure every movie that they watch, to make sure that they're not exposed to certain things. I'm gonna ask you this one question,
Please.
and being young men, being 80s babies, being 80s babies. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in Miami, what happened when the sheltered girl hit the streets?
But that's the difference.
No one said they're sheltering their kids.
Yeah, that's the difference.
No one said they're sheltering.
But think that you're talking about you're micromanaging. You're micromanaging. If you're micromanaging, you're sheltering.
Pause. Wait. Hold the chat.
Hold up. Let me go.
We can't talk over each other. We can't talk over each other.
No, let me go. No, hold on, Kane. You just put words right in our mouths again, right? You took us monitoring our kids and having conversations with our kids to us controlling our kids. Those are two different angles. You want to go down two different angles. I said monitor and then I step in and deprogram my child from the BS that they probably just watched, or before they even watched it, I already looked at it. Nah, baby, you can't watch that. Let's watch this here. So ain't no one controlling. What I'm doing is I'm guiding my child. No different from your mom, your uncles, your grandfather, etc. They guided you. So as a father, it's my job to guide.
They guided me, but I still saw these things. I still was exposed to these things, even when they were right there next to me, like the Loud House. I sat down and I watched this with my son before. And when I saw this, instead of, oh, we're not watching this, I sat there and I explained to him exactly what it was, exactly what's going on. You know, did I tell him how I felt about it? Yes, I did. But I also told him the truth about what was going on in that particular cartoon. Let me tell you something homosexual here. Turn it off.
Hold on. Let me show you the difference in what I would do, what I did do. Okay. I sat down and I watched the thing on cartoon, right? And my son was like, no, daddy, it's a good cartoon. So I said, let me see. So I sat down and I watched. When I saw that couple, I said, guess what? You're not watching this no more. Why? Because right now they got things on this cartoon you don't need to be seeing. And you know what my son said? Okay, daddy. And now he watched Puppy Dog Pals. Okay, so he ain't got to watch Loud House no more. He got another cartoon he gonna watch. But guess what? He's not exposed to that. And the more, if I would just say, you know what, this is what it is, and you know it's not right, but let him continue to be exposed to it subconsciously, it's going to be okay.
Because 2019, children have cell phones. So you mean to tell me like a lot of the things that I wasn't supposed to see as a child, I did not see at my home, in my home. Okay, so he may not be watching Loud House in front of you, but you never know when he's outside of the house and he's at school, when he's on that school bus, he has his sister phone, he's sitting next to his homeboy who may be allowed to watch the Loud House, and he's sitting there watching it contently. You know I'm going to be honest with you. It's the homosexual couple isn't in every episode. That's not something that they push major. They just let you know that that's in the world. But you can't just be like,
hold on,
you're not going to watch this because they're going to grow up seeing it.
Let me answer that. Jason, you know my son, right? You know my son very well, right? Now, if Malachi's told not to watch this, and I told him exactly why, and I was stern with him, you think Malachi gonna watch that anywhere?
Knowing his relationship with you at this age, no, it's not gonna happen at this age. He's not gonna do that just yet.
My point. If I can eliminate 85% of it, I'm doing a good job. But if I let if I go from 85 to 75, 75 to 65,
85% is a high percentage to say you're eliminating, bro.
I am. I know I'm eliminating at least 85% of it. That's for a fact. I monitor what they can watch on YouTube. I monitor what cartoons they can watch. Now I don't tell them.
They got parents can set control on that stuff now.
But if Malachi,
but why not arm him with the weaponry, with the knowledge, basically, to face these things on an everyday basis?
He has the knowledge, but I'm not going to expose him to it either.
I'm actually a question, Kane. How old is Malachi?
5.
You're not gonna give a 5-year-old kid the correct weapons to fight that off mentally. Believe me.
No, what I'm saying, you start off telling them what it is. Like I'm gonna be real with you. I try not to hide too much from Josiah. Josiah, as far as knowledge is concerned, if he happens to run across something, I'm gonna say this, and I apologize before it. I've woken up to him, like falling asleep with him, and he watching TV, and he's woken up in the middle of the night and been up, and I've woken up to turn off the TV or something and caught him watching something like Deadpool. Okay, boom. Okay, we got to address this situation. What are you watching? This is why you're not supposed to be watching this. This is not real. This is fantasy. These things don't happen in real life. So
are you gonna
have to teach them? Am I gonna let them watch it again? No.
Okay, so did you let him?
Because that's not something suitable. He saw it and he has to know exactly what it is that he was looking at.
Okay, Malachi saw it. I explained it to him and told him he ain't supposed to be watching this. Okay, you don't want to be dealing with nothing around. Malachi mindset is, my daddy said that's bad. I ain't finna be doing none of that. So guess what? I'm guiding him in the right direction. I'm not going to be influenced by somewhere else.
I think both y'all saying the same thing. I get what you're saying, Jason, as far as outside noise. That's going to be there. But about time your child turned 13 years old, that's at a point where mentally, if you did your job and you protected your kids to the best of your ability, they should be ready to war with this world and be able to come to you and lean on you for strength and guidance, right?
Same thing I was saying about my daughter.
That's what you're doing and preparing your kids for as they get older, right? You're preparing your kids to be able to think outside the box, to see reality from fiction, and be able to make decisions not based upon what this world is saying is trending and what's cool. Is based upon what they
But
have been taught at their home.
but that's like saying that homosexual people don't come from good, wholesome two parent families. That's like saying serial killers don't come from wholesome families. Like that's what those are individuals. You can show somebody all the right things to do. Like in most cases like that, the the preference of the child is hidden from the rest of the family.
Okay,
In most cases like that.
so
But what I'm saying is,
So
Jason, Soup, listen,
like, I'm just
Soup.
saying that you can deter it, but you can't. There's nothing that you can
but
do to literally control it.
let's unpack that, right? We opened this conversation up about a basketball player and his son, right? We also gotta understand that throughout the course of his son life, his father was always on the road. His son lived with his mom. So that influence that we're talking about between me and Kane wasn't there. So about the time that child probably turned 8 or 9 years old, the damage is done, right? Now the boy might still grow up and be a great man. It doesn't, like I say, it don't matter what you choose to be, but at the end of the day, you have to be there for your kids to protect your kids.
That's just like this question right here. If your son was to be bisexual right now, would
So
you
you're
still love
saying
him the
that
same
if
way?
you have
Yes, I would.
a child that chooses to be homosexual, that you didn't do your job?
No, I
Nah,
said
would you still love them the same way? Would you still treat them the same way if they was homosexual?
yes,
You
I
won't have
would.
nothing against
I
them.
still love my kids, but what I never said if my child turned out to be a homosexual, I didn't do my job. I said if from a child is a newborn to about 8 years old, that is where those are critical years of a child's life that you have to be there and stand in that gap and protect your child. That's what I'm saying.
Nah,
See,
I'm gonna say it's
there's some people ain't
I'm
like
gonna say
that.
it's more than that. To be real with you, the way the world is now, it's much longer than you need to add maybe 10 years to that 13, my guy. Um, like if you really think that you can that's the major influence, you know, on your child's life is in between those prime years. Like think about middle school and high school, bro.
Okay.
That's when you're really exposed to the things that's outside of your parents' house. You
Okay.
know, and that's I believe me personally, I believe that's as far as the topics that we're talking about, where you really need to push it.
But
Because that's when you're spending the most time away from your parents.
Let me
that's
touch on.
that's
Let
the
me touch.
difference.
Hold
That's
on.
the difference between a parent raising followers and leaders. If you got a child that follow every trend because it's a popular trend and everybody's going left and they don't go right, then I'm only speaking of myself. I never followed trend.
But let me speak. Let me touch on this. Let me touch on it. Now you said,
Most kids don't follow
hold
trends because they can't afford it.
hold
I
on,
didn't
Sue,
follow trends,
hold
Jason.
on, hold on. You said
Mhm.
that between in high school is when you exposed to the most, right?
He
That's
said
when
middle
that's
school.
Middle
as a
school
child
as a
per
child.
se.
So
That's the time you get to spend the most away from your parents. That's when you start going to parties, the skating ring, the mall by yourself. You know, that's when you really start to taste the outside world.
so let me ask you a question.
True.
If you was building those tools from 2-year-old to 3 when they start to really get some understanding, to a 4 when they start to understand, and then 5 when they start to get a little bit of sense. If you teaching all of those skills throughout the progress of their young life, okay, if you just letting them be exposed to so much throughout their young life, because a lot of parents let their kids be exposed to a lot of stuff at a very young age. Okay, at exposure at a young age, you think about it. Like BJ Loader was talking about how we started with the NBA player. Okay, now from what I hear, I think the kid is only 12. Okay, so the kid is in the middle of that middle school. He right in that middle school part, right? So with this kid being in that middle part and middle school, and him being what he is or how he is, and everybody supporting him behind what he's got going on, right? Now, like he said in the beginning, from the beginning of this kid's age as a youngin', right? The kid was without his father figure majority of the time, living a good life. So he was around a lot of flamboyant people. You can assume that, okay? That's a 50-50 chance, okay? So it was a lot of things he was exposed to at a young age. So as this kid grow up, those things become normal to them, okay? Now, back in the day, and this is no, this is back in the day, and it used to go on, okay? But I went to school at Carroll City High School, okay? And it was only a couple flamboyant people at that school. And most of the time, they was getting far away from that school because most of the people wasn't allowing that, right? Now, that's bullying and all that good stuff, whatever, right? But I'm just showing the point that at a time that wasn't accepted. Now, you go into a school these days, it's accepted by the peers, by the administration, by the teachers, and everybody else. It's accepted, right?
That's why I was getting that, because they were pretty much letting them accept that nowadays because they want these kids to grow up and not be
So,
afraid.
but my thing is, it's just as you're saying, if it's accepted by everybody else except you, who are vehemently against it, you're not.
They're
Okay,
not going
I'm
against
not
that
going
no
to
more. That's
assume
the
that you're
thing. They're
going,
not going against
but
gays no more.
you're not.
So
If you don't explain anything, they're gonna.
from
If
what
everybody else accepts it and you're vehemently against it without really explaining it and breaking it down to them,
that's not
I can
true.
promise you that they're gonna think something is wrong with
Wait,
you. I say
wait.
if. I'm saying I'm not gonna assume
Don't
that you're
don't
not.
don't
Don't put that out there like that.
you're changing our word.
Don't put the perception that I'm just like, oh no, I don't accept it and you can't be. No, that's not true. That's
Twisting
not what I said. What I said is I'm going to teach my child that that's not how life is to be recreated. You can't recreate life that way, no matter which
Yeah,
way anybody want to look at it. And that's your purpose
you're
in
right. You cannot be at home doing that.
create. So if I can teach my child the right from wrong, okay, and guide them to go the right way, I'm not wrong for that. I don't care who mad at it. I'm not going to accept my child being taught that it's okay for that stuff to go on. I can't accept that. I can't accept it. You can accept it or something.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
can sit
You're
back
not gonna
and
be a
say,
10-year-old
okay, whatever
to
they
me and tell me that you're gay.
look. I don't even let my kids. I don't even listen to me. I don't even let my 13-year-old daughter. No, she's 14 now. I don't let my 14-year-old daughter. Okay, I don't even let her fully study what they teach in school. Why? Because they're not teaching you the whole truth. So I make her do studies on top of the studies they're teaching her. Why? Because she can find out the full truth. Okay, that way she's ain't getting taught whatever they teaching her. Okay, Black History Month is a month, but we built this country for years. Okay, you can't teach what we built in a month, but you can teach what they tore down throughout the year. Okay, so that's why I teach my kids more, and that's what I feel like men need to step up. Okay, they need to step up, and we got to get stronger in these times because now it's acceptable. So this is where we get stronger. We don't get bullying, and we don't get we don't try to freaking just control their life and make them do. If my daughter get 18, she move out, go to college, she change her mind and say this is what she want to do, I can't be mad at that. I got family members that's homosexuals, this, that, and the third. I ain't mad at them. They still my peoples.
All I'm saying is,
But I'm not.
your earlier explanations, it sounded like you were doing more censoring than teaching and explaining. And if you're doing more censoring, the teaching and explaining. You're doing more controlling and micromanagement than teaching.
Teach
And that's all I'm
and
saying. Because
censor.
of what you
That's
censor,
the difference.
regardless of what you censor, they're gonna be exposed to
Different.
it.
That's
And
the difference.
they have to know.
That's where you confuse that. You keep thinking I'm trying to censor, or me and DJ Reloaded is censoring. I'm teaching and censoring. So I'm going to tell you the truth, and then I'm not going to allow you to be influenced by it by allowing you to view it all the time. So I'm going to censor 85% of what you're watching, okay? And I'm going to teach you the truth at the same time. That way you're going to deter the other 15 dang on percent. You don't want it no more. You ain't even, so 100% of the time, my kids ain't even, if they see something that looks too adult, if it's an adult that's appealing to a kid crowd, my kids automatically don't watch those videos.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, again, I'm just like you, Kane. I have, friends that's a part of the LGBTQ community. I think they're beautiful people, but in my household, I'm here to protect my kids. I'm here to protect my legacy. I'm here to keep a part of me in this world. And two women being together, that doesn't do that. Two men doing together doesn't do that. You can kill off a whole legacy by allowing that influence just to carry on in your household. And that's what it is for me. It's no attack towards anybody. For me, with me being a black man, black father, fighting for my kids, that's what it is for me. Is protecting protecting my, once I'm dead and gone, a part of me is always gonna be in this world, and through my kids and my kids' kids, that it's gonna live on. So, all I could do is protect my kids, like I said earlier, mentally, physically, and emotionally. I mean, because
Do you agree with me on this point? Now, let me ask you this: do you agree with me at this point? The most people that get influenced, they get influenced because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
but there's also you also got to look at.
That's pretty much peer pressure.
You also got to look at this, what kind of relationship they have with their parents at home too. It's a lot to go into that. We can talk about the chicks that's a runner. We could talk about people who are gay. We could talk about a lot of different things, but you also got to look at a lot of that start from the home and the structure of that family.
Okay, I consider myself as an athlete, right? I would not be the athlete I consider myself without my father. Okay, without my pops doing what he did when I was a jit, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And everybody had that influence to get them where they was at. Okay, now if you're not there, because I know certain people, you feel me, that wasn't in their kids' lives, meaning they at home, they pay the bills, they with the mom, they go out and do the family stuff. But when it comes down to spending quality time and showing a young boy how to be a man, and you're not doing that, okay, that's when they can easily get influence from outside. And when you get influence from outside, your kid goes the opposite direction of what you wanted them to do. But when you at home and you take that little bit of time out to go outside, toss a football around, you ain't got to make your son play football, but spend that quality time. Let them see you play basketball. Let you run or work out or something like that to show that. I let my son watch gorillas, silverbacks. Why? I wanted him to see the difference between a male and a female gorilla, right? And I wanted him to see the strength, and I want him to feel strong. Not saying men are overly stronger than women. I ain't doing all of that. But I want him to feel that strength inside, because when you see a silverback who knows he's the silverback, okay, ain't nothing else can match that, okay? Like a lion.
Okay. So this, I'm gonna ask you this, and I believe this is something that we touched on before as well.
That not
okay.
Hold on.
Got to be masculine.
Football, that's why you play
Just hold on a
football.
second.
Masculine, basketball, rugby, lacrosse, hockey. Different things that you can do to come on, man. It's a lot of things that you can do, man. And it's a lot of times that parents
I'm gonna ask you
what
this.
the hell they want to do.
But hold on. I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, it's dangerous, correct? Are you gonna totally censor your children from guns, or are you gonna teach them what guns are, what they do, and to respect them?
I'm gonna talk about it because you know you know what I do. But okay.
Okay, so
I have
so
right?
and that shows my example. Hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead. You was done, but go ahead.
You gotta understand, bro. That hits the nail on the head of the point that I'm trying to make.
Oh, let me
More
finish.
teaching.
No, you asked me a question. Let me answer it. You asked me a question. Listen, okay. When I first purchased my gun, right? I set all of my kids down, except for the youngest one, because she too young to even think like that, right? But now she is, and when she got to the age, of course I did. But I set all my kids down. I took the gun completely apart. I said, you see that? That's what you was scared, you was afraid of, right? You was afraid of that. It can't do nothing to you. I put the gun back together. I say, you see that? Can't do nothing to you. But once I put this magazine in and it has bullets in here and I chamber around and I squeeze this trigger, guess what that does? That does harmful, dangerous things. I explained it to them, right? I let them feel it. I let them touch it. Why? Get all of that fear away. I had my gun for the past 4 years. Now one of my kids would touch my gun. None of them. You know this for a fact. My 4-year-old daughter, when she was 2 and 3 years old, I keep it in the book bag sometimes. Okay, my daughter would pick the book bag up, not unzip it, bring it to me if I left it on the counter or something, and said, "Here, Dad, you left your book bag," knowing exactly what's in there. And you know this, right? Why? Because I explained it to him, I showed it to him, and that was, one incident. But majority of 85% of the time, they never see it. Okay, they uncle, right, has multiple weapons all the time. He don't never leave. He walks around his own house with his shit on his hip, right? They exposed to it. They know what it does. They know right from wrong. And then on top of that, like I said, I keep it out of their face 85% of the time. So if I always left the gun just laying around, sitting over here on the counter, out, never in the book bag, never in the case, inside the book bag, just out, just anywhere, I'm exposing them to them all the time. So guess what's going to happen? Curiosity one day going to make you say, let me just get this gun. I see it all the time. I know about guns. You get too confident. Okay? You expose too much to it. So when you ask that question about me letting my kids, of course, but I taught them about it and then I censored them away from it. Okay, but that's something totally different from this subject, because at the same time, I expose my kids to weapons more than most average homes, because I want my kids to know how to protect themselves too. We go to outdoor shooting range, and my daughter just started shooting last year, but I let my kids dry fire and stuff all the time because I need my kids to know how to protect themselves. See, that's the difference. Okay. See, people fear away from that.
You made my point. But you made my point about how much you're teaching them, you expose them to it, man.
But that's different. That's different. That's protecting a life considered to living a total different type of lifestyle. That's different. Okay. It's a difference in that. You can't say, homosexuality and gun is the same subject. Because like I said, of course I'm exposed my kids to it a little more than most families, because I feel strongly that my kids need to know how to protect themselves. My daughter, My daughter ain't ugly, and my daughter built like a grown woman, right? But if somebody come trying to follow her home, please believe she's going to find one of these weapons and going to use it on that person. Okay.
And on that note, that's the block. Again, it's your boy DJ Reloaded.
Got Trey on the block.
Superman calling it.
And you got your boy 305 Kane. We need y'all to like, subscribe, hit that comment section. Let us know what y'all want to talk about. Let us know what y'all want to get into. We're trying to be here a little more often so we can get a little more viewers, a little more subs to comment in and give us some insight on what y'all want to hear. We always here.
Peace.
Peace out.